get started. Here we go. Hi, Jessica. The sleeves that I'm wearing are the 6-day kid blanket inspired shrug. It's just a shrug. Yeah, it's just the sleeves. So it's 6-day kid blanket inspired, and the pattern is in my store, linked here on TikTok and on my website, which is bettymcknit.com. Hello, everyone. I'm Betty McKnit. I'm live on all the places, so if you don't like the view, you can check out one of the other views that we have. You can engage with comments everywhere. I can see your comment. I can see all of your comments. The only thing, if you're in one of my Facebook groups and you make a comment, I can't see who you are, so it just helps me to just say who you are when you comment inside of a Facebook group. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. I don't know what else to say. Should I get right into working on the 6-day hexagon cardigan that I've been working? This is the wear your 6-day kid blanket crochet along. And this is the last day. So I know that people like to have video to work along with. So if you've been waiting for video so that you can start, the entire crochet along will be up on my YouTube channel. And eventually I'll get around to editing it down so that it's, chaptered out so that you can go right to the part that you need. But my goal was to do every little part of the pattern that I could on this crochet along, and I haven't completed this sample. Look at all the ends hanging out. I know that is just anxiety inducing, but I did get pretty far. So yesterday I was working on the hood section, and I made a little mistake, so I had to go back off camera and repair that, fix that. I had to rip back. I ended up actually ripping back the entire thing and making it a wee bit wider by opening up this sleeve seam just a little bit more. I didn't really leave quite enough on the sleeve seam at the neck opening. So I did open that up a little bit more, and now I think the hood looks fantastic. It's done. It's ready to be seamed up. So what do you say? Let's do that. Not really technically supposed to be live for another 2 minutes, but it is what it is. TikTok will let you go 10 minutes early, so I usually start over there. It's really great for me if you will, if you're on TikTok. Hi, Amy. If you're on TikTok, it really helps me if you share the live, do the likes and the follows. And even if you don't really want to send this live to somebody, even if you just click share and then click copy link, that apparently is the same, or also is helpful. Okay, TikTok, I'm gonna put you up there, and then Facebook and YouTube, I'm gonna flip the cameras, and I'm gonna get started on this hood. So tonight, if I really want to finish this for you and show you everything that there is to know and see about this pattern, or like all the different little parts so that you can have something to follow along, then I do have a lot to do. But it's manageable. So I will be seaming the top of the hood. So you will see how I do my seams. And hi, Misty's. Misty's. I see Misty's trinkets. Hi, Misty's trinkets. So I'll be seaming the top of the hood, and then I'll be working a row of trim around the front, the whole front of the jacket and the hood. And that really doesn't sound like much, but because it's going to be that single crochet and some parts working into the sides of the stitches, that can take a little bit longer. And then let's see, a row of trim, and then I'm going to do a buttonhole band on it. Okay. So then you should have, you know, if you want to go back through the crochet along, you should have most of what this jacket is about. The only thing I didn't do was the pocket, but the pocket is going to be a 6-day granny square, and it's basically the same as the hexagon part of the beginning hexagon part of the sweater that you would have already done. But it just has 4 sides instead of 6. So there you go. Okay, let me flip this. Swap my cameras. Yes, that's what I wanted to do. So let's move this tripod out of the way. And then let me show off my fancy glass of water. Hi, Amanda. Yeah, so I did have a little issue where my sides weren't working out exactly right. So I ended up taking out the entire hood and I fixed it. And then I had a similar issue on this part, the bottom part of the jacket, where I had added additional length. So I kind of figured out what I did. I wasn't really actually following the pattern instructions. Imagine that. And I straightened out these side edges as well. I don't think it's really as long as I technically want it, so I might end up having to pull out some of the work that I do today to actually finish the sweater for real, but it's okay. I'm cool with it. I want to be able to show you everything that I'm doing. I'm a little nervous about this seaming part, showing it on camera, because it is really like upsetting when I mess up. It's upsetting to me. I'm not going to pin it because we're going to be working. I'm going to be working one side to the other side, just starting at this is my hood. I ended up working the hood into about 12 inches, I think is what I did. Let me see. Hi, Kathy. I didn't write it down, so I think it was 12. Yeah, 12. It says 13, but I'm not really laying this flat, so it was around 13. I think what I put in the pattern was 10 to 14 inches. It just depends on what size, but yeah, so we just worked as for the collar. If you only want a collar, you would just only work to, you know, however long you want your collar to be, and then fold that down. If you want a hood, you would work a much longer piece and then seam it together, which is what I'm about to do right here. So you fold the top in half, and I'm gonna seam it, and I'll come in close so that you can see what I'm doing. Looks like I need to be a little bit. I don't know what it is about this chair. I think the camera is not centered on the table, and a lot of the time when I sit down centered to the table, so I need to, yeah, because I can see I'm further away from that than I am to that. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen Ashley says, I love those colors. Thanks so much. Okay, so we're just going to be matching up stitch to stitch, and I do the invisible seam is how I start. So I'm going to go down into that very first. It's actually the knot at the end of the row. And then come up in my first stitch. And then I'm going to go across the row, and you have to go into the same stitch that you came out of on the other side, and then come up out of the next one. And I'm working from the right side of the hood. So this is the right side, the outside. Okay, and then you go across the row, you go into the same stitch that you came out of last time, and you come up through the next stitch. Usually I pull it tight each time, but I'm going to leave it loose for full stitches just so you can see how the stitch works. Okay, you go in, and then you come up through the next stitch. You go in, and you come up through the next one. Keeps getting caught around the side of the hood. Here you go in, and you come up the next one over. Yeah, Kathy, you were saying because you had to lay it out. Okay, and now I'm going to pull it tight. So I don't usually do multiple stitches and then pull it tight like this, but I wanted you to be able to see the process. And I just feel like I can, and I'm saying pull it tight, but you really don't want to pull it that tight or it will pucker. So you just pull it to the proper tension. So this is the last one I came out of. So now I'm going to go in there and come out on the next one. And I'm just going to pull it to the appropriate tension each time from here forward. It's not super tight, but I don't leave it loose like that every time. See how that's invisible? Then it looks like the two lines of stitches just come together, and it's flat. It doesn't leave a bump or a line of stitches. That's what I don't like about single crocheting things together. It leaves this, you know, just like really visible seam that I don't think looks nice. This is just one of those things like attention to detail, you know, like tying knots. I know, I think my other videos were terrible. I don't remember what was going wrong, but I remember they were not good. Something happened. Or I didn't post it. Something went wrong in the video. Required a lot of editing. Okay, thanks. Oh, thank you, Dot. Yeah, it's easy. Kathy is asking me to show the other side. So this is what the wrong side looks like. I mean, single crocheting the ends together is faster and easier, and it works. I think a lot of the time we do things because it's like faster, easier. It's like a shortcut, right? And we value that. But I just think this looks better. And I've basted all of my seams, so I'll have to go back when I weave in my ends and do the rest of my seaming, and it will take a good bit of time. But it's a beautiful seam, isn't it? It's beautiful. And I used to like go down into the stitches down here and pick up from the middle of the stitch, but I don't do that anymore. I just go under the back 2 loops of that row. I'm trying to do it so my hands don't get in the way, which is a little challenging. I go into the back, under the back loop and the back, come out the other back loop, and I leave the front loops there. See, I'm not pulling it that tight. You don't have to pull that tight. Oh, but did I miss one? Let me see. No, I don't think so. Thank you, Pat. It's not that difficult either. I mean, crocheting the sweater was way more difficult. You're welcome, Amanda. It's not super tight. Don't pull it tight. Doesn't have to be tight. That's what I often see when I see this technique demonstrated. You see people go across almost the entire row and then pull it tight. I mean, I think it's nice to show you what actually happens, but I think it's just better to just pull it to the correct tension after every stitch. And that tension does not need to be super tight. I'm almost there. Thanks for sharing the live, Amy. This is the 6-day hexagon cardigan. I'm seaming up the top of the hood. This cardigan is a little bit of a Franken sweater because I used it to show all the different techniques. So I still have a sleeve that needs to be redone, but it's fine. I had to redo the hood today after messing it up on the live. Yeah, it does take time to get it started. That's the most awkward part, is getting it started. Okay. I'm up here at the top. This is going to be my last stitch. Actually, I'll do one more. And then this can just go to the inside. have so many ends floating around. My goodness. Whoops. Thank you, Goose Mom. All the ends are actually making me anxious. All my patterns are on my website, bettymcknit.com. It should be linked on this video. If it's not, you can go to the storefront on my TikTok, because you're on TikTok, right? Okay, so the next step for me is trim, and depending on how you want to finish your front, trim may or may not be the last thing that you do. But I'm going to do one row of trim starting at the bottom down here. You can't see what I'm doing because it's off camera. I'm going to start at the bottom of the sweater down here, and I'm going to go all the way up and across the hood and then down. And you can finish your cardigan that way. That can be it. You could go around the bottom too if you wanted. You could just do, I think that's how Campfire Cardigan finishes off. They just do a round of something, I don't remember what, all the way around the, you know, from the hood all the way around the sides and bottom. If you Debbie's weaving in ends on her poncho. Wow. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. And here we go. I think I have enough of this, so I think I'm going to use that, but let me just check, double check, and see if there's more. These are the colors. I don't have very much of that left. And I have this much of this. Hi, Queen. Brooklyn. I'm making a 6-day hexagon cardigan. You know what? I don't want to run out on this row, so maybe I'll do it in this. And then, this is all of this blue that's left. And then maybe I'll do the buttonhole band in this because I know I have a lot of that left. At least I think I do. I put all of the yarn, including the Kaka yarn, in the same container, the same bag. So, okay. I'll do this just so I know I have enough. I don't want to take any chances on running out of anything today. Thanks for the likes, Witchy Crocheter. Appreciate it. Thanks for following. Hey, Paula. These are all the same yarn. 2 different colorways of Karen Ogo. The heck is the name of the yarn again? Big Donut. But it's been discontinued. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. It's been discontinued, so you can actually use your favorite worsted weight acrylic. Any worsted weight acrylic will do, or DK weight if you want a sweater that's not so heavy. The pattern was made to be adaptable. You can literally do it with any yarn. Okay, so I'm going to start down here on the right side, and I'm going to, oh gosh, I already split the stitch. I'm going to start with a row of single crochet. I'm going to do one row of single crochet all the way around, all the way up and over, and then I'm going to come back with a row of double crochet. So I'm working up the front side of the sweater, up the inside of the hood, and then back down. Hi, Leanne. Good to see you. Okay, and I use this technique to edge everything, my 6-day kid blankets, everything I do. This is how I put the edge on. I don't work over the stitches and into the spaces. I work into the stitch. I use the stitch like a foundation chain, and I go under 2 threads of the stitch and leave 1 on the bottom. Sometimes I go into this hole in the middle, which is actually the top of the double crochet in that row. And there is no exact rule for it. It is roughly, hi Momster Mash. It is roughly 2 single crochet to the side of each double crochet, 1 single crochet into the side of each single crochet. But mainly you just want it to be straight and flat, no ruffles. So I can give you a number. I can say like, you know, do exactly this many, but you really need to be laying it down often and checking it to make sure it doesn't either ruffle or pucker. Let me come down here a little bit. Hi, Karen Glenn. I'm making the 6-day hexagon cardigan. This process can take a little bit longer. It's like working into a foundation chain. No one likes doing it. Takes a long time. You can take a shortcut if you want to and just work around the stitches, but it won't be as even. I mean, look how even that is. If you go into the stitches, you're going to have 2 stitches here, or into the spaces, you're going to have 2 stitches here and then a space and then 2 stitches, and they're going to be leaning. So this is how I do it, and it's also how Edie Ekman does it in how she says to do it in her books. And then where I have yarn tails, I work over them for 1 or 2 stitches when I do my first border round. But I always weave them in later. I don't only work over tails because that comes undone. Yeah, the 6-day hexagon cardigan comes with multiple options to make the hexagon cardigan any way you like. And this particular option has flared sleeves and a hood, and it has length added on. So this is a chain 2 space from my corner, the corner of my hexagon from years ago. Remember that? And I don't even go into that space. I use that's foundation chain right there. That's the top of a double crochet. Okay. Now I'm on the portion. This part will go faster, of course, because I'm working into tops of stitches, which is always easier. This is curling a little bit, but I think it's okay. I really do. It's just getting used to it. Thanks for the helpful comments over there, Amy. I should make you a mod. Thank you, Alinda. Thank you so much, your fairy bog mother. Love it. Well, I've got Kathy over on YouTube. She's a mod over there. Thank you, Paula. The one that I'm wearing is not actually a whole sweater, it's just a shrug. It's the 6-day kid blanket inspired shrug, the 6-day shrug. All my patterns are on my website, bettymcknit.com. You can access almost all of them for free on my site and purchase an ad-free PDF copy. My shop is right on my TikTok page, so you can purchase right from there, or go to my website and check the patterns out before you buy them if you want to. Thanks, Amy. Might not even be able to see all the comments over here, you know that, because I'm watching from another device. I try to always go under 2 threads. So now I'm up into the hood section again. So I'm on the hood. So this is the end of my cardigan. So now I'm working on the hood and I'm working into the sides of stitches. So I'm creating an edge, right? That's what it looks like without an edge. A mess. Just dig right into those stitches. And it's approximately 2 stitches in every double crochet. I have an end here, so I want it. When I have 2 ends like this, I take one, I split them over to and send them over to where they came from, right? So they match. So I sent that one that way, and I'm going to send this one this way, and I just work over it for 1 or maybe 2 stitches, okay? And then I let it go. And then I'll weave it in at the end. I never just only work over ends. And I don't tie knots unless it's an emergency. Lay it down often, check it over, admire it, make sure it's even. See how even that is? There's no spaces where it's like 2 of the double crochet are closer together and 2 of them, you know, when you work into the spaces, that's what happens. I know, and there are some people in my group that are, you know, they do it the other way. Their work looks wonderful. If your work looks wonderful and you like the way that it looks, then by all means. Your work should make you happy. And if you don't want to spend all this time going into stitches and it doesn't make that big of a difference to you, then that's totally fine. See, that was the end from here, and this is the end from here, and I'm just working over them for 1 or 2 stitches, and then they'll get worked into they'll get woven in to the row where the yarn matches. Told you this was going to take a long time. Having the yarn reverse direction. Hey, Margie. Having the yarn reverse direction is important to keeping it from coming undone. I'm just looking it over to make sure I didn't pucker it, or I didn't put too many in, so that my tendency is to add too many stitches and then it will ruffle or it won't be even. I have an end there. Yeah, when you're weaving in ends, it is a good idea to change directions. Get the yarn to change directions at least once. That will help keep it from coming undone. So there's one change of direction, right? Because this yarn was going this way, and now I'm going to make it go that way. And then when I weave it in, I'll probably weave it in more than one direction again. Let's see. Paula is asking, what kind of yarn do you suggest? Well, any worsted weight acrylic will do for this project. I like Vanna's Choice. And it depends on where you live too, and what you have available to you. If you have Michael's or Joann's, you can get like, I like that Big Twist. I think it's called Big Twist Basic. I don't actually use it that much, to be honest, but they have a really nice selection of colors. So I like that when I go to the store and I see like a wall of colors, and I feel like I could pretty much, you know, match up any colors that I wanted. I like Vanna's Choice for that reason. There's Paint Box, there's Stylecraft has a wonderful acrylic. I'm using a worsted weight yarn with a J hook, and this is a Furls Odyssey hook. It's an ergonomic hook. And I use the Odysseys, the Furls Odysseys exclusively. If you're looking for an ergonomic hook, I would suggest contacting Furls. And I know they have different types of hooks for different types of holds. I'm fairly certain that the Odyssey is meant for people with an overhand hold like mine. If you have a pencil style grip, I don't think this is the hook for you. Paula, this isn't the type of pattern that tells you exactly how many colors you need. You can do whatever colors you like. In fact, I had some yarn. This was a yarn that was a self-striping yarn. I ended up taking apart 2 different colorways of self-striping yarn and using the ones I liked. And then I used the leftovers. So I ended up using the ones I didn't like in the second jacket. You can do as many colors as you want or as few colors as you want. And how much yarn you need will depend on what size of sweater you're making. This pattern's adaptable. So if you check the pattern for more information, it doesn't give you a lot of specific information like that because it's written to be adaptable. Okay, let me get that guy, that blue one over here. Cheer for me. You're welcome. I hope you'll check out the pattern, and you can always hold on. I want to check on you can always join one of my groups or communities or find me here on TikTok if you get stuck and you need help. You have any further questions about the pattern, you can email me. Don't suffer in silence. Thanks for following. Almost there. I'm almost past the hood section, which has been the hardest part. I want to put this gray one over here. Oh, that looks like a big, big space right there. Let me see if I can go in here. I go under 2 threads and I leave 1 on the bottom. I go under 2 and leave 1. Lay it down and check it often. So this looks a little weird because I have an end. There we go. That's better. Check it over often. Make sure it's not ruffling. Make sure it's not puckering. See how nice and even that is? That's the way it should look. Some of these ends need cleaned up. That'll be for another time because we're going to try and get through this today. Let's see. Where should I go next? I'm going to go here. So when I have a chain stitch, a chain space on the end, I go into the chains. I use the sides of the stitches like a foundation chain. And I go down the chain. You know how much everyone loves going into a foundation chain. It's like the thing crocheters maybe hate almost as bad as weaving in their ends. Whew. Thanks for the follows. I think I may have used 8 colors. I don't even know how many colors I used in this. Those Ogos that I had 5 colors each. So maybe I used all 10 colors on this one. I don't know. I'll hold the first one up next to it at the end of the live, because I didn't use all of them in the other sweater. I just used the ones I liked. I deconstructed the yarn and I just took the ones I liked. Hi, Obsessed with Dogs. I'm working on the 6-day hexagon cardigan. Patterns on my website or in my TikTok store. Thank you very much. The sweater I'm wearing is the 6-day shrug. We don't need the stitch marker anymore. We got it. I try to go under 2 loops and leave 1 on the bottom. Okay, now I'm coming down to the end here where I added, this is where I added additional length. This is the end of my hexagon, and this is where I added a few more rows of length. And then when I have ends, I just work over them for 1 or maybe 2 stitches, and that's it. And then I go back in and weave them in later. I do not tie knots when I change colors. I mean, you can see there's no knots. I'm pulling it and it's pulling. You can see it pulling. where it's connected. I have always very tight chains on the ends of my rows. When I do a chain start, I often have to use a slightly bigger hook to get it started. And I have to do on my 6-day blankets, because my tension for my chain stitches are really tight, I have to chain an extra one sometimes. I'll chain 4 instead of 3. And I'll do extended double crochet on the side. Otherwise, my sides of my work will curl. It'll pull and it curls. Okay, it's so weird because this looks like dark gray here. And I was like, this yarn is called Choco Blueberry, but it's gray and blue. But it's not gray at all. It's brown. It's dark brown. And I noticed that today when I was crocheting in the other room by the window with natural light. I was like, oh, this is brown. That's why they called it Choco Blueberry. Okay, then. Sadly, this yarn has been discontinued. I mean, it's fine yarn, but it's your basic acrylic. Worsted weight acrylic, so... And I'm not saying anything bad about the yarn. It's just either they stopped making it, or I think the yarn industry is having supply chain issues. So last year they gave us those tea cakes, and then they took them away, and they didn't bring them back out, but they have like some of the tea cakes from last year. I don't know, it's weird. Hallelujah. This row is boring. Really boring. I have that end there. I'm going to work over it. But it's going to need tied in because it's loose. That's better. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to need a minute. Okay, so that was my first trim row. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks to my helpers tonight. Answering questions and keeping out the bad guys. I'm gonna take off my shrug. Sweating. Woo! Here's the sleeve. I did the flared sleeve on this one. And I did the tapered sleeve over here. So obviously I'm going to take the tapered sleeve out, but I wanted to show you how to do the tapered sleeve. Oh. Thank you so much. I'll show you the other one since I'm taking a little somatic crochet break to take care of my body. This is the original. And I decided I liked the purples and the blues, but I didn't really like the browns and the grays, but I put a little bit of them in. I just did a little bit here and there of that dark gray. So this was the original. I didn't want to overwhelm it with that. When I started when I was working on this and they started coming up in the I just didn't like it. So I ended up deconstructing the ogos and leaving out this brown. So I just put a little bit of the one brown color in, and I left out, it had this brown and this brown. So I left these out of the original because I just didn't like them. But I ended up with a ton, at least a sweater's worth of them, because I'm making this sweater just with the leftovers that I didn't want over there. And this is how much I have left. This is what's left. This is an Invisible Woman headband that I made on a live that I'm going to take out. It's probably enough for another whole sweater. If anyone wants a sweater made out of those caca colors. I don't. I'm not going to wear it. I actually think these sleeves probably need a little more length, and the bottom of this probably needs a little more length too, but it's okay. Whatever, I don't know. Whatever is left of that yarn, I don't know what will happen to it. It's actually really good yarn to use on lives, so maybe I'll use it for that. But I've just found the colors so uninspiring. And then when I crochet on lives like this and I'm choosing colors, I let the comments rule my color changes. So the people that have been here have kind of looked like been more excited about these caca colors than me. So that's how they ended up in there. So much. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Uh-oh. Another ball of yarn just fell on the floor. One of my balls just dropped. I'm sorry. Oh, Paula, thank you for asking about the buttons. No, I purchased buttons for it, and I'll show you how I sewed them on. Okay, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do another row of trim. So I'm going to do a row of double crochet all up, up and around the hood. And then I'm going to put a buttonhole band on the front of this cardigan. And I'll show you how I sewed the buttons on, how I did it. I used store-bought buttons, and I have the button that goes on the outside, and then you'll need a smaller button that on the inside, and I use a regular needle and thread, like a sewing needle and thread, to sew them on. And I don't really sew the button to the garment. I sew the button to the smaller button on the wrong side of the sweater, because I don't want it pulling a hole in my yarn. So now that I'm doing this, even though I was really careful to like lay it down and make sure that it was even and it wasn't flaring, I'm already just this far noticing that it's flaring a little bit. So, and it might just be my tension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just work a couple decreases as I go along. Double crochet 2 together decreases. And it's not going to be noticeable at all, but I just want my edge to be really nice and straight. I don't want it flaring open. So I can see that there's a little bump right there. So I'm going to do another one. Just going to do it as I go along, where I see that the stitches are pretty tight together. See another one. Okay, you can tell that looks better already, right? That it's not splaying. So let me see. I've already had to do 3 of them. And looks like they're 4 or 5 stitches apart. So I'm going to try, yeah. I can also feel as I'm going up the front of this that this has a different tension than this. This is more stretchy than this. This was worked into the sides of stitches. This is worked into the top. So just learn how to read your work as you're going across. And make the adjustments that you need. I don't think I'm going to need an adjustment here because I had that DC2 together. Remember that? Clever you are. I don't know if I'm clever. I don't know if it's the right way to do it or not, but that's what I did. So we'll see how it holds up. But yeah, I didn't want to. I could just imagine seeing the seeing that yarn, the thread, you know, and the yarn pulling. But I'll show you when I get back around. And I could have, I guess, if I wanted to, started this on the other side and had it been right side out, but I don't, to me, I feel like it doesn't really matter that much. Because there are right side and wrong side rows. So yeah, I'm not feeling like I have to address any like puckering in this part. See, it's just slightly different. So I want it to be nice and even. Oops. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for following. Okay, so I'm back to where I worked into the sides of the stitches, so I can already feel that the stitches that I did put into the side are just a little bit dense. So I'm working decreases every 5 or 6 stitches or so as needed. You might not have to. Thank you for sharing the live, Peppermint Patty. Peppermint Patty's here. Oh, you asked, do I have to make buttonholes? Yes, you do have to make the buttonholes, but they're super easy. I'm going to show it. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, send me all the likes. Make sure you follow if you're on TikTok. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. Bye, Misty. Okay, great. Wow. Oh, you're nearly finished with your... I thought you meant... Amanda... Okay. All right, Amanda. I got to back up. Saying you're nearly finished with your second hexagon. So go back and watch the video for next steps tonight. Use the pattern too, because you might have or want different options than what I'm giving. So always follow the pattern. See that? See how it's like, I did a decrease right there. Oh, I did one right there. That's why it's like that. Okay. You can kind of see where I've decreased. Almost up and over the hood. Yay! Yeah, I'm Betty McKnit everywhere. So you're going to get the landscape view over there. And close, I can get a little closer over there as well. So really zooming in. And then the replays are there too. You're welcome. In fact, let me click over there real quick. Oh, great. I have never, ever been good at, and I have never followed a video only, and a video only pattern ever. I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know how you would do it. I mean, I'm old school, and I learned how to crochet by reading patterns, so yeah. But I know it's a thing, just to have video only patterns. Let me get back over to TikTok over here. There we go. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I know y'all on YouTube don't need to know how to do like double crochet up close, but that's what I'm doing. 1,800,000 double crochet. I got this far to go. It's a lot. It's a lot, people. Momster Mash says, I definitely need a written pattern. To be honest, I haven't even followed anybody else's pattern but my own in a really long time. We did the wonderful wallaby knitted sweater in my membership community not too long ago. I did that. But I've made like 1 million of those, so I don't know. There's some content I need to go back and refilm because I didn't get it all. Because my yarn didn't come in on time. That's why. I have a half-done sweater. I could rip it all out and start over. Hi, thanks for following. I'm almost there. I'm almost to the bottom of this row. And then I'm going to do the buttonhole band. You know that hexagon sweater I really want to make is like a really lightweight one with some really soft fuzzy mohair. One that you can just like wear over a tank top or something, like real sheer. Doesn't that sound nice? I started one, but I ran out of yarn. There's no more of it to be found anywhere. It's one of the old Lion brand studio yarns. I looked everywhere for it. Peppermint Patty says, I'm the opposite and I love watching someone crochet. thank you, my dear. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! Oh no, I have one more. I miss Andrew. I haven't seen Andrew S yesterday. I think they were here briefly yesterday, but I haven't seen Andrew S today. Kind of sad about that. There's the hood. Lots of ends need woven in. Hide them away. Hide them. Okay, I can cut this because I'm not going to continue with this color. I know that. So I've said this on other lives this week, but I'll say it again. If you wanted to have ribbing on the bottom of this, you should do that before your trim and before your band, not after. The buttonhole band should be on the outside of the ribbing. So there's the buttonhole. It's just made with a chain 1 stitch. And then there's the tiny button on the inside, the big button on the outside, and I used thread. And you basically sew this button through this to this button. I don't really sew it to the yarn. I just make sure I'm going around some of the yarn strands, but I basically sew this to this, if that makes sense. So the buttonhole band is basically the same on both sides, with the exception of on the side that you want your buttonholes, you're going to do some chain 1 stitches. Okay, so, and then the band closes the top, but it doesn't extend up to the hood. So interesting, I ended with a single crochet row. I did it different up here. Well, maybe I should do a single crochet row before No, I'm going to move on. Okay, so this is how I mark for buttons. Okay, once again, probably not doing it exactly right. This is going to be the side that I put my buttonholes on. And this is going to be the side the buttons are sewn to. Okay. There are some kind of rules about which side goes on, the buttons go on. And they're very antiquated old rules and have something to do with who is dressing themselves and who's being dressed by somebody else. And honestly, you can put your buttonholes on whatever side you want. You can put them either way. It is really not that important. So this is the top. I know I'm going to have a button right at the very top. So I'm going to want my buttonhole to go right here. Actually, it's going to be over here. So I'll just mark the end. No, I won't either. I'll mark it over here. Okay, so I start with that one, and then I do the bottom. Okay, and then I bring them together, and I find the middle between them, which is right there, and I mark that. Okay, then I could do the same thing again and mark the middle right between these two. But I feel like it would be better to have two buttonholes here. Seems like that's going to be too big of a space. So I'm going to have to measure. So it's 10 inches about. It's really more like 9.5. And then you divide by 3. So it's going to be 3 plus a little bit more. And then 3 plus a little bit more. See how technical I can get? Okay. This one's a little too low. And put it here. Yeah, Peppermint Patty. I did the buttons like that because I didn't want the thread to pull. You know, I could just see it pulling. Like, yarn is very stretchy. So, yeah, I don't want that to just pull right out. You know, I'm just going to take these stitch markers out of the sweater because they're not needed over there anymore. Okay, so I'm going to start this buttonhole band. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to work it up to here. Excuse me. Let's see what the pattern says to do for buttonhole bands. It says work a row of single crochet along the edge where the band will go. To work along the sides of the stitches. We don't have to work into any sides of stitches, but yes, it needs a row of single crochet. So, yeah. I would, if I were not on video, And, well, maybe I'll just do it. I would do the single crochet row all the way up and around the hood. So maybe I'll just do that. Won't take that much longer. Just one row of single crochet. And then that'll give me the opportunity to bring a little bit of this bright blue back in. There we go. Whoops. I'll try and go fast. Single crochet row. Thanks for sharing the live. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for just popping in and hanging out a little bit tonight, crocheting or whatever you got going on. Do we have another Game of Thrones tonight or what? That wasn't the season finale, was it? That last one. Hang on. My camera died. You're watching Christmas movies already? I should put my Christmas tree up. I put my tree up super early last year because I had been, I moved. And I was really excited to put it up in the new place. And in fact, I had been saying to myself for a while, like, I don't want to spend another Christmas holiday season in this other place where I was living. I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. And I don't want to be here for another Christmas. And I ended up moving in October last year. And I was just really excited to have to like be on my, you know, in my new place for the holidays. My daughter came and spent Christmas with me. She actually came for Thanksgiving and Christmas last year. I was really spoiled. It's not going to happen again because she's working this year. She was in between jobs last year during the holidays, so that worked out nice for me because I got to have her spend so much time here. And I had like just moved here, so it was really, really lovely. Yeah, but I think maybe I'll go down and clean out my shed and bring the Christmas stuff up. Sounds fun. It needs gone through down there anyways. Hey, Firecracker. Firecracker just joined. Don't be going off in here. The movie I used to always watch when my kids were little around the holidays, we would watch Back to the Future. All of the Back to the Future movies. Goodness, I think I have them memorized. You're in a new place too? Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? And it's like even my same old crappy holiday, you know, I have an artificial tree. So it's like even my same old crummy artificial tree looks great, you know, in a new place. 3 different channels. Grandkids say, didn't you see that already? Aw. Hi, thanks for joining. Thanks for popping in. Welcome. I'm making this 6-day hexagon cardigan. This is the very last day of the Wear Your 6-Day Kid Blanket crochet along. Oh yeah, the tree skirts. Thank you for bringing up the tree skirts, Debbie. Thanks, Carrie Berry. Let's see. The next crochet along I'm going to be doing is the 6-day holiday tree skirt crochet along. I'm going to be doing that on here in just a couple weeks. Oh, Candace, I'm sure it does. The tree skirt's on your list. 29 inches, wow. That's awesome. How long have you been crocheting, Candace? I've been doing it since I was 7 and I'm 55. But really, I'm here to help you. And what's a magic round? You mean a magic loop? A magic circle? What are you using that for? Hold on. I'm glad you're here. Hang on. I would only do a magic loop if you're making an amigurumi. I would not do it if you're doing a granny square or a hexagon cardigan or something of that nature. I would only do it for one of those stuffies or plushies or amigurumi where you have to pull it tight. Otherwise, it's chain 4 and join. Magic circle. And you're using it for what? I don't believe in that technique. Nor do I believe in magic knots. People call things magic that aren't magic. Especially in crochet. You put down your tree skirt to finish your poncho. That's right, you were doing the star, right? Thank you, user blah, 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 blah. You're amazing. I think you're amazing. You're making a 6-day star right now. That's awesome. I want to see that. Make sure you TikTok that and show me. Speaking of which, this is the last day of this crochet along. If you've been crocheting along and you've been here with me every day, or even if you haven't, and you're working on a 6-day hexagon cardigan, make sure you tag me somewhere so I can give away some goodies. Okay, I'm going back to here because the buttonhole band is only going to be on this side. It's not going to be over there. Otherwise, I would have turned. Okay, so I did my row of single crochet, curtains for my sliding door. Wow, it's impressive. Okay, row 2 is it says chain 2 half double crochet to the end, but I am at the beginning of the row. So I'm just going to start with a standing half double crochet at the beginning of this row. And to do a standing stitch, you just put the slip knot right on your hook and you go. Half double crochet. What a beautiful stitch. Whoops. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate it. You do not need to have a really tight circle on most projects. Some people like it. If you like it, that's fine. But I do not use that technique. Only for amigurumi. It's the only thing I would use it for. I don't know how people do it with that blanket yarn that they use, because that's chenille. If you pull it too tight, it's going to break. Oh, Candace, I'm sorry about your grandmother. I just saw your comment from before. Just take it slow. If you're watching somebody like me crocheting, it's going to feel intimidated because I go so fast. And the reason I go fast is because I've been doing it for a long time and your muscle memory takes over, okay? And that takes time to build. The only way to get that is to just crochet for a long time. She was 96 and lived a long life. Well, bless her. Another tip for crocheting faster is to relax your hands. Keep your hands really relaxed as much as possible. And that's why I like my furls hooks. They help me relax my hand. I can feel this up into here where it is stretching. Oh, that's better. Oh my goodness. Peppermint Patty says, last year I broke my arm. It killed me. I couldn't crochet. I would lose my mind. Okay, so I'm going to here. This is going to be the end of my row. I'm going to put my last half double crochet in this stitch. So I have 3 more to go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, row 3 is actually the buttonhole row. Okay, so I've given you 6 rows for the buttonhole band, and it says you can work more rows than what I've given, but you want to just make sure you put the buttonhole row in the middle. So if you wanted your buttonhole band to be wider, then you could do like 8 rows and do the buttonhole band on row 4. So row 3, chain 2, does not count, working in the back loop only, not the 3rd loop. So the half double crochet has 3 loops. It has the top 2 loops like other crochet stitches, and then it has this 3rd loop across the back, and you can actually work into that, and that would be called camel stitch, working into the 3rd loop. So this is work into the back loop only. Okay, so that's my back loop, that one right there. And then when you get to this, when you get to your marked stitch, you're going to chain and you're going to skip that one. So I just have 1 more stitch to make, and then I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to skip this stitch, and that's going to be my buttonhole. Okay, see how easy that was? Who was asking me about the buttonholes? Candace. So then you just continue along, half double crochet in the back loop only, and then when you get to your marked stitch where you want to put your buttonhole, okay, so it's going to be that one. So I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to skip. Whoops, I went right past it. Wasn't thinking. I was looking at the screen. So that's my buttonhole where I marked it. Chain 1. Hold on, did I chain already? I think I did. Chain 1, skip 1, and then continue. Would be very difficult for me not to be able to crochet every day. Chain 1. How'd you break your arm? What happened? Thanks for following. So whenever I'm working something back loop only or front loop only, I usually will do the last, oh, I did a standing double, standing half double. Okay. Whenever I'm working into back loop only or front loop only, on the last stitch of every row, I usually work under both loops regardless. It just feels a little more stable to me that way. And I did a standing stitch there, so that was more than a little awkward. So let me flip this over for row 3 and just take a little break and we can check it out. So now you're going to have that that third loop texture on the right side of the work. Let's see what row 3 says to do. Well, that was row 3. So this is row 4. It's going to be back loop only, half double crochet across again. And then you're going to work into the chain space for the buttonhole. And then I actually have a row 5 that's half double crochet across, and then a row 6 of single crochet across. But I think for this, I'm just going to do the one more row of half double crochet back loop only, and then I'm going to come back with a single crochet row, and that's going to be it. Let me drink my water. I'm imagining you all clapping for me drinking that water. Okay, what is all this mess? Okay, chain 2 does not count. Hang on, I gotta get this right. There we go, that's better. Half double crochet in the back loop only across. And then half double crochet, go into the chain space. And that's your buttonhole. Okay, easy. So easy, right? Half double crochet in the back loop. Hi, Autumn. Yeah, hi. Did you have a question, my dear? Whoops. Okay, you want to go into, don't forget to go into the space. Chain 1 space. Those are going to be your buttonholes. See, that loop right there is the 3rd loop of the half double crochet right there. And then that's the front loop. So when you want this like decorative kind of looks like a row of knitting in your crochet, you can use that. I just wanted to do something different. Half double crochet in the 3rd loop will give you that look. If you're working in the round, it'll give you like that knitted row of knitted loops kind of look. But if you're working back and forth, you have to use the back loop. You have to go into the back loop, not the 3rd loop. Half double crochet in the 3rd loop is also known as camel stitch. I have an ant crawling on my computer. Get out of here, dude. What are the ants doing in here? Like, what is there that an ant would want in this room? Don't understand. First it was the gnats, and now it's the ants. Hi, welcome. Autumn, you asked if you could ask a question, but you haven't asked me any questions. I'm like sitting here with bated breath waiting for your question. Probably left. Okay, and on the end of the beginning and end of the row, when I'm working in a front loop only or back loop only, on the last stitch, I go under both loops, no matter what it says. There's my buttonhole row. It's the 6-day hexagon cardigan. I'm using a Furls Odyssey hook. It's an ergonomic hook. If you hold with an overhand like I do, it's a good hook for that. If you do the pencil hold, I don't think it's a good hook for that type of grip. Okay. So I've actually given 2 more rows of that buttonhole band in the pattern. But I don't think I need any more width here, so I'm going to finish this off with a row of single crochet, and I'm gonna work it into, let me see, can I do that? I'm gonna try working it into the 3rd loop and see what happens, because I want to have that row of texture on the other side. So let's just see how that looks. It's not in the pattern, but this will just be your little reward for making it all the way through the whole crochet along, all the way to the very end of the last day. It's been hours and hours and hours of live video. I don't even know how many hours. It's been 2 hours today. I think yesterday was an hour and a half. One day I was almost 3 hours. But I did nearly complete this project in 6 days. Most 6-day projects can be done in 6 days. This one is absolutely no exception. I think it's easier to complete this in 6 days than it is to complete, like, say, a blanket. There's a lot more that goes into making a project of this nature than what goes into making a blanket. You know, you have to measure, you have to make a lot of choices. You know, if you start collecting furls, you're not going to want to use your other hooks in your collection. The rest of your collection is going to end up on the shelf, my dear. I crochet for hours and hours every day, so I'm also a somatics practitioner, so there's no way I'm not taking care of my body, or I'm going to sit here and crochet and hurt myself and hurt my body. So an ergonomic hook is an absolute must. It's an absolute. You use your same hooks, but you still collect them. That's cool. I have a few that I have collected. Sometimes when I see really beautiful hooks, I'll buy them to try them out, but I've never used these. They're Knitting Addiction. They're from Knitting Addiction. Forest Palmwood hooks. I just thought they were really beautiful, and I had never seen them before, so I picked them up. They're still in their little cases. Yeah, I'm still live. That's okay. I'm just finishing up. See that little row of texture right there? It looks like a row of knitting, but it's actually the back of the half double crochet. Woohoo! Yay! Now I need the applause. Give me that applause. Oh, I hit it twice. All right, that's enough. I guess that's all I get. But I just did pretty much a whole sweater on live for you all. Well, you would need to make your button band on the other side, so it would cross over like that. Here's the hood. I'll put it like that. And then here's the flared sleeve. I gave it the flared sleeve option. I also give you an option for a straight sleeve and a tapered sleeve. This is the tapered sleeve option. And then I added length to the bottom. I gave you a ribbing option also, but I didn't put ribbing on this particular version of the sweater, but it's in the pattern for you if you want ribbing. And I also showed how to do it on a video. So if you didn't get your 6-day hexagon cardigan made during these lives, you can go back. The replay is there. Woo! Let me flip this. So always remember that I have communities for you to join where you can get help with these patterns. And I have Facebook communities. I have, I'm on TikTok, obviously, and I have a membership community called the Betty McKnitiverse where you can join and you can receive a lot of my patterns for free, including until the end of this month. This 6-day hexagon cardigan pattern is going to be free to members in the Betty McKnitiverse. So that's bettymcknitiverse.com if you want to join over there and receive this pattern, plus the tree skirts I mentioned, a couple of hat patterns that I worked on this month. There we go. I don't know why I felt it like so important to adjust that. Woo! I'm tired. This has been a big week. I can't wait to see you all in your hexagon cardigans, and make sure to you do the other. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kathy. Kathy wants me to say you do the button band the same, just without the holes. So, and then you would sew the buttons on the other side. Thank you, Kathy. Yep. Okay, yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to say was to make sure you tag me with your hexagon cardigans that you've made during this crochet along. You can tag me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you find me, and wherever you hang out. And I will, over the next week or so, pick out a couple to I know I did it. Pick out a couple to send some goodies to, and little surprises here and there. And thank you all. Thank you, Kathy, for showing up every day and helping me, and also Amy, who's been helping out. Debbie has been here every day. Members of the Betty McKnittiverse have been here on the calls every day. Amanda, you've been here almost every day, if not every day. Kay has been here. Misty, who isn't here right now, but a lot of you have been here every single day. Pat Jacobs, thank you so much. And I'll see you all on the flip. Bye. Hi, Candy.